Hello, all. Seeing what's going on here. Uh, just wanted to stop in. I know I mentioned in one of the updates in one of the comments that I was going to start talking about the other villains, and I figured it would be easier to do something like this than to type it, crop the images, put everything in, and just have a free form. I'll let you know what these different villains are, and then I can always just post this in an update, and you can see the video whenever you feel like it. So yeah, just make all our lives a lot easier. So, one of the first villains, actually, this Ancient Burial Ground was possibly the first villain I'd ever made. And this is back in, oh gosh, 2012, easy, 2013 maybe, when I first started designing this game. The Ancient Burial Ground was one of the first ones. And it's changed a lot since then, but it is based on things like Pet Cemetery, of course. It's based on Poltergeist, where it has the abduction of your characters. Just like taking them into the TV. You get to do single combat rounds against them, but their whole idea for this villain is gathering up their spectral power, and their spectral power is what allows them to keep doing the abductions, and that's how they win. Um, when they've abducted a certain number of characters based on the number of players. Let's see. Yep, use your track your spectral power, etc., etc. It needs so many to start off with. You can exercise them using ritual tokens. Now, the ritual tokens are just the ones that look like the Cthulhu face, but I just thought that design looked pretty cool, so that's why we used that as a token. We could use anything really, but that's the one I liked. And again, they all come with. They'll be in the box. This one is from the Slaughterville 2 set. And that's what I figure we'll go through the Slaughterville 2 set, then we'll go through the director's cut, and then it'll bring us current to where we are. So yeah, every villain turn, they increase the spectral power by 1. So they are always building, always getting stronger as the game goes on. And then you move the villain to a random location, overturn 3 cards from it, put all enemies on top of the location, etc., etc., increase spectral power by 1. Oh, you're also going to notice this in a lot of things. This other font, I realize the numbers, they look okay, but the ones can look like eyes, right? So in the newer ones, I've actually changed the font for the numbers to be one that's more readable. I think it's the same one that's on our D3s, and I know I have them over here on this shelf. I have my game shelf here, all the way up over the whole 9 yards. So they're around here somewhere. And if anybody needs a metal D3, let me know. We did unlock the metal D3, which, you know what? I think I want to show you that too then. I'll show it to you at the end. We'll look at the metal D3's design then. Remind me, because I'm going to forget. Okay. And we'll go through all that later. But, so that's the mat for it. And, I like the way these mats are made. Not just from the manufacturer, but I liked the layout. See, before we had it where there was, and this is the first time we did this big change, okay? And so you're going to notice a few things that are a little bit different each time. Especially from the original Slaughterville, which wasn't published under me, so we don't use that design anymore. But it had the giant picture up here, and it had down here was a place for text. Nowhere to put the cards. That's why I put this spot here, so you could put your deck here, and so you got a place to put the cards. But I swear to you, the font. If you ever see the original, okay, the font is about half the size of this, and I wish I were joking. It was ultra tiny. That was people's biggest complaint, was that it was hard to read. So I thought about making an app for this to, let you see these larger. We are, believe it or not, and this is the first time I'm talking about this, at least here anyway. I've talked about it with the person doing it. I teach computer programming. It's one of the things I do. And me and another gentleman are actually making a digital version of the game, hopefully for release on, App Store, Android, etc., etc. We've got it so where we can choose the characters. We'll pick the villain. It lays everything out. Stats get adjusted. We're working on the networking portion, but that's the one that's proving the biggest challenge for us is getting it networked. But yeah, so that's what we're working on. If you'd be interested in that, you just got to let me know. So, but yeah, and then we put the big picture of the villain on the back of everyone. I like the 2 slashes in here for the Slaughterville 2. Just makes it seem more dangerous in the town. Oh, somebody else brought up, how much do I want to say? And you're going to find this a lot with me. I'm going to ramble. Okay. So if you like rambling, congratulations. Come on in, sit down. We'll do that. So, yeah, we'll talk about this villain. We will. We'll talk about its cards and all in a minute. But we were talking about the history of the town, right? And where things come from, where things are going, and we do touch a bit on that in the graphic novel, in the comic. And we are going to go into a deeper dive, and we do get into some of the history of some of the villains in there, because the villains are the focus, as well as the characters. But it's not like in most horror movies where the main characters are throwaway. These ones actually have personality and so on. But we do start talking about the history of the town in the comic, and I would like to do, let's just say, it's not going to be this year because it's going to be a big project, but it's going to take a look at the history of the town, and you're going to be able to help shape that history. So yeah, that's going to be pretty cool. And each person's game will be different, and I'm hoping unique. And it's going to be, because this is a big thing for me. Everything I do, everything I make has to be modular. It has to have some kind of modularity, not as much as this maybe, but and it has to be solo. That's it. That's a must. You have to be able to play it solo, and it has to be replayable. That's the thing, and that's what I want with. That's what this new one is going to be too. Even though it's based on the history of the town, you're going to be able to integrate it with everything we have. So that's my thing there. Okay. Yeah, Ancient Burial Ground, based a lot on the, yes, Poltergeist, and I was okay with the Poltergeist movie. Pet Cemetery, where this is based on, I can't watch the beginning part of it, and spoiler alert: when the kid gets run over, I can't watch that. That's not, and I know they don't show anything, etc., etc., but still, that part bugs me. So now, if it had been, like adults or something, I'm more okay with it, strangely. But all right, let's go. That's the Ancient Burial Ground again. Spectral power. You're trying to stop them by exorcising the demons, and yeah, you win when the villain deck is empty. So you're trying to destroy their deck on this one. So anyway. Zoom in. Yep, they didn't move the bodies. Again, if you remember Poltergeist, that was a big line from the movie. Attach ancient bodies to they didn't move the bodies to Ancient Burial Ground. When they move to the player starting area, they have to make a nerve check. So every time you're trying to go home, you have to make sure that you're not too terrified to be there. And if you succeed, not only do you get to remove damage, but you also have to increase spectral power, because even though you're doing something good for yourself, that power is always increasing, and that's important. These things had to be not just they couldn't just be a passive villain, and I don't ever want any of them to be passive, because then they're just background. They're window dressing. These things had to come after you, and that's what this always increasing the spectral power does. And yes, this is a difficult villain. Also, Nicolette did real decent job on the art here. So she did all of this. She actually did cards for Magic and oh my god, is it Dark Alliance? I think that was the game. Another one of her games that she did. But yeah, resisting possession or becoming possessed. It's just all about messing with your perception, messing with your head, and oh, that's another thing. I learned a lot about making a print and play file too from this. And I know some weren't happy with this the way it was, and I didn't get it at first. But there's a free program out there that allows you to create print and play files, and it'll put these little crosses right in here and on every junction, just to make it easier to align and to line up print and play files. So I've done that. I didn't do it for the Slaughterville 2 stuff yet, but you know, so I'll try to remember to go back through and do those. There's a lot of things we have going on, but yep, gather energies, they heal, and you increase the spectral power. That's why there's only a couple of some cards that are really, really powerful like that, because I don't want you to get no chance of winning, but I still want you to feel harassed, because again, that gets you motivated to do more actions and stuff. Again, you disrupt the energies, deal a damage to the ancient burial ground. So again, you're trying to kill their deck whenever you can, and that's why we put them out on the board too, so you can always attack and you can always go after them. All right, so that's the ancient burial ground. And next we have Bathory. Let's get her front and center. Again, Bathory is another one I had started in the beginning with the ancient burial ground when I first started doing this. I was just not really happy at, that's why I kept putting her off until we finally put it in here. Was that I just it just never really felt right. Because that's a big thing for me when I do these is the villains have to feel like whatever it is we're basing them on. And she's one of the first that's actually named and based on a real character or a real person. So yeah. And her thing, again, I don't know if you know much of the history of Bathory, but of course the Bloody Countess thought to be an actual vampire, etc., etc. And she would send out servants to gather young ladies from the towns and bring them back, blood sacrifice, drain them, and she would bathe in said blood. That's what her whole deal was. So you may combat Bathory using nerve or perception only. So that's another big change here is you have to outthink and outmaneuver this person. Okay. And when you deal damage to her, those cards aren't overturned, they're removed from the game. And you can do special actions here, failed rescue attempt. So you try to save somebody, but it doesn't work out for you. And this one here, where's Bathory? You have to make a perception check, deal a damage to her for each success, but suffer a damage for each fail. So you're using your detective-y skills to hunt this person down. And the last one, you find the corpse of a victim, and if you can investigate it, you gain 1 for each success. Otherwise, you're going to be too afraid to do so, and you panic. Let's see. Yeah, if you roll a 5, she'll recharge, she'll heal. And then the last one, you combat her minions. Again, the people that she sends out on the town to hunt some more victims. So on the villain turn, she moves to a random location, searches the deck and discard pile for an ally. Find that ally and place it in the discard pile. Then encounter a villain card. See, what she's doing here, and what I had her doing, is I wanted her to feel aristocratic. I wanted her to be, she's not going to get her hands dirty. She's not going to go out there and do it herself. But she will tell you, I want this one. So then when she gets somebody ready, when she finds her victim, that's when she'll send out her minions to hunt them down. And that's what this is all about. That's what this particular section, that's what I wanted with here. She is too good. She is too important to go out and do these things herself. She'll make you do it for her. Well, she'll make her minions, I should say, do it for her. And then she wins when there's a certain number that were killed for her blood ritual. And when you remove all of her cards from the game, not just overturned, removed from game, that's when she's defeated. All right, so we got that one. And yeah, you should reshuffle the deck if it's ever empty. But yeah, a lot of her big thing: capture the victim, send her faithful out, send her minions out, and capture somebody. That's what it does. Is it looks in the discard pile of a location to try to find somebody. And so that's why when she goes out, she puts the ally that she found in the discard pile, and just to make life easier for the minions. Again, she's choosing. Oh, this is also again, if you remember the original, this font on these here were also extra tiny. Let's zoom in on this. You can read them easily now, but before, again, probably another 2 or 3 font sizes smaller. What we also did, we put that they were villain cards. For this set, we told you whether or not it was an enemy and what type of enemy it was with simple iconography. And that's the thing we added a lot to this was iconography to make it easier to see and easy to read at a glance. In fact, here in this section on item cards and allies and so on, we would put their bonus, because before you'd have to read that tiny font before we made it larger and so on. You'd have to read through there each time to see what's the bonus, what do I get. Well, now we put it up here. We put it all right here in this bar, in addition to being down in the text as well. But we put it so if it's a knife that you found and it gives you +1 combat, we'll put +1 with the combat symbol up here, so you can more easily stack the cards as well. Just keep things more organized. There she is. That's the backs. Again, the faithful. Attach the faithful to a random location. And when her faithful are out at a location, they're hunting. So you have to be more careful. You have to be avoiding them, which is why it takes 2 actions to encounter a location when the faithful are there. And you can get rid of them. Return them to the villain discard pile. And there's her bathe in blood. That's where she's sacrificing people to heal. Her blood rage. Yeah, she gets angry. Needles. That's when she sends out needles to actually kill you. Poison the players. She's very persuasive, and she loves her home. Oh yeah, take a drink. That's the one we based the back off of. I like that picture that she did. She's trying to be nice, but if not, you'll suffer for it. All right, so that's Bathory. If you have if you have any questions on any of these, please don't hesitate to ask. I obviously enjoy talking about these things, or else I wouldn't be doing this. So, let's see. Our third one, I think we'll just stop at 3 at each time, just to make this a more manageable update for people to watch. But our third one is, of course, the Cult of Cthulhu. Now, this one I did not just because, I'll be honest with you, I am a big Lovecraft Cthulhu fan, because I enjoy that mythos and all. And I enjoy it so much that I hate 90% of the Cthulhu games that are out there. Why? Because they have Cthulhu in it. In the mythos, if you ever saw Cthulhu, forget it. The game's already over. You should be dead. You can't fight these things. They're not meant to be encountered. They're meant to be avoided, or the rituals are meant to be stopped. And that's what the thing is here. Yes, it's the Cult of Cthulhu. So you have the cultists that, the cult invades. They are all throughout this town now. Every single ally is a cultist in disguise. So you have no friends here. Okay. Your job is in this town of insane people is to look for the elder signs. Okay. Meanwhile, you're trying to avoid getting insanity tokens, but of course you're going to get them. It's going to drive you insane. It takes your nerve down. If you have no nerve, you're insane. You put your character next to the villain in the cultist stack as a cultist, but you manage to keep all of the items, elder signs, and clues that they had. Then you get a new character. So that character that you knew went insane, joined the cultists, and they just left all of their stuff behind for you to find. So that's that. But yeah, you can go to the starting area or the asylum to detach a clue to remove 1d3 of the insanity tokens. So you can try to make yourself sane again, but you have to find elder signs. And you turn in 3 clues to get an elder sign. So that tells me you were investigating. That tells them that you are again, just like being an investigator in any of the Arkham novels or any of the Cthulhu based novels. They're not out there to fight and kill and so on. They just want to know what's going on because all this weird stuff is happening and it's their job to uncover it. So you'll find your clues and turn them in to gain the elder signs. But whenever you overturn a cultist, they're not going to be happy you're around. So you're going to have to fight them. And you'll use the Cult of Cthulhu combat value, which is 2 + 1 for each cultist. So the bigger the mob grows, the larger the cult is, the harder they are to attack. Which again, I did for a balancing thing. So in the early game, when you are just starting out as well, they're not going to be overwhelmingly powerful, but they're still working in the background to find as many allies as possible. So again, on the villain turn, the cult leader, which is the black pawn or the standee, because we do have standees now in the director's cut. We're not just using pawns, although I did include pawns for those that would rather use them. So you'll have pawns, and I think we have the standees for the villains in Slaughterville 2, where this one is, but in the director's cut, we have over 70. I believe it's over 70 of the standees because we included every character as well. So if you ever pledged to be a character, the standees should be there. In fact, you know what? Let me, again, welcome to my tangent. Hope you enjoy the ride. Let's see. Yes, six sheets of standees. So again, if you were ever a character in here, you're going to be a standee now. And we added the new ones for the upcoming villains as well. So there you go. Yep, there's the slashers. Everybody else. Also, these are going to be real useful for when you have the new villain, the Mirror Town, and you're able to use these villains as characters. So that'll be useful there. Let's see. These are just 2 quick pages from it. Again, from the Slaughterville 2 ones, all the way to current and modern. There you go. Also, RD is in the comic. You're in the comic. I won't spoil anything because you got to read through part 1 to get to part 2. But they are there. They're ready for you to find and discover, and yeah, I really hope you enjoy it. I have fun making it. But yep, so we have all standees for every character, every villain. So again, I can't recommend getting it enough. Not just because, of course, I'm selling it. That's obvious, but I really, really enjoy doing this. I enjoy doing this game, and I think people would get a lot out of it. I'd like to see us go more mainstream, but I understand horror is an odd genre for some. But I won't compromise it for anyone. Not what we're doing. This is too important. I enjoy the setting. I enjoy the idea of the world because again, this is the town where all of your favorite horror movies take place. And let me grab this. And I wanted you to be able to walk through that town and say to yourself, because everybody's yelled at those movies, don't be so stupid. Why are you going in there? It doesn't make sense. So now you're the one walking through the dark and spooky asylum or hanging out in the graveyard at night. Or if you get the Slaughterville 2 and you get the weather deck, you could walk through the graveyard at night in a thunderstorm or a zombie flood, which is one of our special unlocked promo cards for it. But all of that's included in the set. Let's see, where was I? Oh yeah, players need 2 Elder Signs per player to win. You can also kill the villain deck to win. We say deplete, but it means, overturn the whole villain deck. If enough cultists are in the cultist stack, then Cthulhu rises and you lose. Again, very important that you never see Cthulhu. You'll see the bas relief or the images on the books, etc., etc. But if Cthulhu ever rose, forget about it. You're done. So that's why if the cultists win, if the cultists get enough out, then he rises and you fall. All right. So, yeah, we had the standard Cthulhu Fatagan, however you want to pronounce it. That's between you and whichever elder god you choose. If you're insane, you get a clue. But everybody else makes a nerve check. We have the deep ones. The stars are going to align. Again, it's all about returning things to the game, getting rid of your elder signs, otherworldly sights. You fail and you get more fear token, or not fear. Fear's the next set. You get more of these insanity tokens. Dark dreams. Yeah. Again, I won't go through all these cards. You'll be able to get them and see them. But just to get you a hint, again, we got the Migo because they're a big part of the mythology as well. I didn't do Star Spawn or any of that, but this is gathering the cultists. The cultists are hunting after you. Again, that's why you see them prominently, the cultists and their victims. They're stealing from you to try to steal your elder signs and steal your clues because they don't want you. Hiding in the shadows, here is about, again, the cultists that are hidden within the town, and you're not supposed to know who they are. Of course, we know that everybody's a cultist, but it's just fun. As a group, players with insanity may discard a total of 3 clues to cancel the effects of this card. The Cult of Cthulhu heals 1d3, and each character gains an insanity otherwise. So yeah, they're trying to get themselves back into power. They're trying to bring about the rise of Cthulhu. Meanwhile, you're out there trying to investigate and stop this cult that's been in this town for apparently years. And they've been infiltrated. They've been working behind the scenes to bring back the old ones. So I hope you enjoyed taking a look at these. We looked at these 3 villains. We'll do some other ones next time. Like, who do we have for next time? You know what? Let's see. Yeah, we'll have the Dark Presence next. Demon Razor. I think you'll like them. Then we'll do Dr. Frankenstein. Then we'll have Dracula and some other ones as we go. All right. So again, I hope you enjoyed taking a look at that. Now, I've also been thinking of adding this, which is my homage to not only deck builders, but also to the game Brutal Legend. It's Gods of Metal. And in here, you're going to take on one of the roles in a band, the lead singer, the bassist, lead guitar, or drums. And your job, well, of course, it's a deck building game, and they all have their own unique decks for the position. And then you get to pick a member of your band that you'd like to be. Normally, they have a band that they're part of. And so this is the drummer, Buddy Money. Fred Mars is the singer. Les Poole we have on lead. And then we have Matt on bass. And they work together if you have them in the same band, but you don't have to because we have a ton of different band members that you can be. So you take these band members and you grab your deck, your starter deck, which has your starting instrument and roadie cards, power vocals, all of this, and you're trying to stop these demons and overlords from taking over all of reality using the power of metal. So you're trying to build songs using a beginning, middle, and end. So there's a lot of different songs you can make, and these songs unleash the power of heavy metal that you've built up throughout this whole game onto the overlords and the demons that you're trying to conquer. And again, this is really one of the things I did because I liked Brutal Legend, I like heavy metal, and I love deck builders. That's what this is at heart, And these are the overlords. They're like the main bad guys, and each turn they're going to send out their demon minions. They're demons, so that you can, pit bear. Okay, and these minions are going to be attacking you each turn. But you're not all defenseless because you're going to have cards from not only your starter deck, but you're going to have a set of stage managers to help you out. This is your standard spend 2 to get 3 kind of card. And Garage Practice. You can get mascots like the Ice Reaper. Costumes, like you get horns for your costume. Stage upgrades, new instruments, instrument upgrades, and so on. All of this is to help you fight back, build the greatest band in all of history, and send these overlords back where they belong before they destroy all of reality. So again, you have an easy and a hard mode, because if this track ever gets to the skull, you lose. I thought about making this as an add-on. I have a couple hundred left in the old warehouse. If you think you might be interested in throwing this on as an add-on, let me know and I'll put it in. If not, we'll have it on the eBay store anyway. You know what? Maybe we'll make it cheaper here. Maybe we could do that. This was going for $25. Maybe we'll do it for maybe we'll do it for $20 here. Let me know what you think. All right, I look forward to hearing from you. We'll probably do another one of these, maybe this week, maybe next. But I have a stream tonight to do where we're launching the Outdoors Indoors, where it's with a Big Sexy Outdoors, and we talk about hunting, fishing, outdoorsy stuff. Because that's what we like to. Obviously, I got the crossbow in the back here. That's what we like to do. Then, of course, I have every Friday at 9. I do a live stream then. And other than that, that's what we do. Let me know what you think about the Gods of Metal, what you think about these villains, and if you like this kind of a series. If you like it, we'll keep doing it. If not, okay, cool. Maybe I'll do it anyway. Until next time, have fun.